Hey y'all, happy Tuesday. So while we're pulling today's orders, I want to talk to you a little bit about hazmat shipping. The post office just recently changed their policy on shipping anything that's considered potentially dangerous in the postal system. Those items can include lithium batteries, perfumes, hand sanitizer, paints, aerosol products. So you just want to make sure you're careful because you don't want to get hit with a $50 fee if you're not labeling your box properly. I have an item going out today that could be considered potentially hazardous, so when we get to that item, I'm going to show you how I created my label and marked my box so I don't get hit with the $50 fee. But first we have a few non-hazardous items going out. We're going to start in our patch drawer, and I bought a bunch of patches recently on Whatnot. You guys have seen me sell one or two of them already. And I actually bought the lot because I saw this police patch and thought it was an actual police patch, which I saw a lot of. Turns out it's actually like a prop cosplay patch for the movie RoboCop. I paid about 50 cents for it. It sold for $6.76. Next, we have some Pez going out. These three dispensers are from the Disney Planes 2 movie. And I like how Mater has a little flags on his stem. They sold for $5.06 for the set. Next up, we have some more ornaments going out. These ones look like Shiny Brights, but they're not actually labeled Shiny Bright. But I lotted these four up together, and you will see in just a second why. They all have that little indentation on them, which creates like some extra sparkle when they're hung on a tree. Really pretty. I have about 50 cents a piece into these ornaments, so $2 for this set of four, and they sold for $29.95. And now we have a CD going out. This actually came from that giant box of CDs I got at a yard sale for $5, so I only have a nickel a piece into the CDs that came from that one sale, that one buy. And there were a few surprises in that box when I was going through and checking, to make sure the real CD was in there and that they were in the right condition to sell. And this was one of those surprises. This is Terminate Damnation by Becoming the Archetype. And as you can see, the book has been signed. So I marked it up a little bit when I priced it, and it finally sold. I have a nickel into it. It sold for $25. Somebody sent me an offer and I accepted. Now we have this Star Wars X-Wing Hot Wheels going out. You guys saw the video where I was at Goodwill and I found this. I paid $2.99 for this when I found it, and it sold for $33.96. Our next item is a bins find, and I'm going to be honest, I'm obsessed with coloring books. It was like my favorite toy as a kid, so whenever I find new old stock, vintage or somewhat vintage coloring books like this Dragon Tales one, I usually pick them up if they're cheap enough, and this was found at the bins in the book bin itself, so I only paid $0.25 for it because it's a paperback, so great deal there. And it's from 2002, which is the year I graduated high school, so I guess it is vintage. I paid $0.25, it sold for $10.16. It's amazing to think the year I graduated high school was half of my life ago. More, actually. Time sure does fly. Next up, we have this Yeti Rambler Colster going out, which is like a can cooler. It's like a hard metal koozie for a soda or beer can. I paid $1 at a yard sale, it sold for $12.25. Next up, we have one of my favorite items to find and sell going out. This is a Tupperware pickle keeper, and they made these in a variety of different colors. I love the avocado green ones, and you want to make sure if you're picking them up that they have the little lifter in the middle, because that's really the whole point of the item. I paid $1 for this at an estate sale. It sold for $14.95. Alright, now if you happen to be on TikTok and caught my live video from when I was at a highway sale and we kind of roamed around this like giant field with a bunch of sellers in it, you might remember this was the very last thing I bought that day. Lady had a bunch of really high priced items, but because this item was damaged, she had it marked at $2. And I could just tell by the color what it was going to be, so I didn't even test it until after I paid for it. So you can see the damage right there, a little chip on the back, but if you display it like with that at the back and the lid on, you never really see it. This is uranium glass, and she only charged $2 for it. I sold it for $49.95. And next up, we have some soap going out. This is not the hazmat item, but a lot of the things in that drawer would be marked hazmat if I sold them. This is from the Queen's and Revenge restaurant, which I'm not quite sure where it is, but I thought it was interesting when I saw it in an estate sale. I picked it up for $0.25. It ended up selling for $9.95. And now we have reached the point of what I consider a hazmat item. We sold this lava lamp, which we found at a yard sale on a highway sale for only $3. Now, if you Google lava lamp and USPS, it's actually going to tell you it's not a hazmat item. But as far as I'm concerned, it's breakable and it has liquid inside of it. So we're going to ship it as if it's hazmat. So what you're going to do is where you put in your weight, there's an option about it being hazmat, and then you go through and you select what category it falls into. And when you print your label, it's going to have the H in the top left corner, and it's going to say surface transport only. That's it. As long as you're using Ground Advantage, there's no extra fee. Like I said, we paid $3 for this lava lamp. It sold for $34.95. The thing about it is, if I didn't mark it as hazmat and the post office decided it was, I would get hit with a $50 chargeback for not labeling it properly. So I'm going to label those things properly. Next up, we have a first aid kit going out, and this is something that if it was inside the house at an estate sale, it'd probably be overpriced, but I found it in the garage, so they only charged me $1. It's funny how that works out. And it's got all the little doodads inside. I paid $1 for it. It sold for $14.95. And our last item going out is actually an item I was really excited to find. We went to an estate sale that everything was overpriced, but somehow this was sitting on like the fireplace mantle and it was really cheap. It is a solid pewter sewing pincushion shaped like a Victorian shoe. I absolutely love it. We paid $2. It sold for $21.21 and is going to Japan. So we have $16.04 into all of these items, and they sold for $269.10. And now everything's packed up and labeled as it should be, like with that little hazmat diamond. I had to make mine because I'm still waiting on mine to be delivered from Amazon. But everything should be good to go. We'll see you soon with another video of what's sold.